February 26th, after missing a bunch of shows once again, Kevin Von Erich returned on Saturday and claimed he'd been on a world tour. On the 5th of March, Dave Meltzer would write, born, this is unbelievable. This is March 5th, 1990. He's recapping what happened the week of February 26, 1990. By the way, they're so desperate to get folks into the show here, the Saturday morning TV tapings. The Friday night paid crowd is only 175. So they say, hey, we're going to do the TV taping on Saturday morning and it's free. Please come. 2,500 fans are there. If we got to pay, 175 will show up. If it's free, 2,500. Now, in the middle of this, Matt Bourne, who's a babyface, does a TV interview and a bunch of girls are heckling him. He comes out for his interview with a cup of coffee. Oh, and as he's leaving, he dumps the coffee on the girls. And Meltzer would write, I think charges were pressed by the girls. Do you remember this? Bourne dumping coffee on the girls?
I love Matt. We were partners, but God rest his soul, troubled soul. But I mean, it was this, it goes back to the rabbit ears and the baby faces. Just that, you know, it was hypersensitive. And I don't remember specifically the coffee, but I remember there was a mess up and Matt's in trouble and what actually happened. And we've got, you know, our security, which, you know, is going to protect our folks, but then you had policemen officers there, but oh my gosh, is a mess. But back to that 2,500 in there free.
Yeah.
Oh, Jarrett and crew. Guess what we had on Saturday mornings? We had every concession stand open around. So it just, it's all survival rate, man. It's crazy. When I read that in research, I'm thinking 100 and something paid. And then we get 2,500 in 12 hours later on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. Now let me mention that gave your dad an idea. Hey man, if we got 2,500 in here for free, what if we charge $2 for adults and $1 for kids? So they tried that and they still had more than 1,500 fans in the building, which is better than what they were doing before. They did it the next week. Again, $2 for adults, $1 for kids, less than 500.
In 90. Yes.
1990. You could have taken your kids, you know, a husband and wife with 2 kids could have taken their family of 4 to wrestling for $6, less than 500 souls in the building. It's unbelievable. You know who's not there though? Fucking Kevin Von Erich. No shows again. I can't believe this is real, but there's 700 fans when they're doing a Dallas card on the 2nd. It's Valiant, Kerry Von Erich, and Soul Taker, Garvin, and Travis. So it's a whole bunch of folks and Jerry Lawler. It's going to go to a double count out, but then somewhere in here, Jeff Gaylord is going to pin Jimmy Jack Funk when Skandar Akbar interferes. Funk wasn't supposed to be here, but he has to replace Kevin Von Erich because Kevin's a no-show. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought it?
We're still trying to do what we can to get some attention to our product, even if it means some risque stuff. Meltzer would write, John Tatum in an interview said he was the one who brought Missy Hyatt and Baby Doll into wrestling and brought out Tessa as his new valet. While it's true about Missy Hyatt, I don't know what the connection with Baby Doll is. Anyway, this new valet was wearing a tight short skirt, and when she bent down in front of the camera, it was the biggest pop of the card, and the station had to digitize the picture. So, man, we're not afraid to embrace a little TNA here, whatever it takes. And man, if I need to pull out the fucking monster trucks, I will.
Damn right. And or a knife or a 2x4 with a nail or spill coffee. Fascinating times.
The plans for the USWA to do live matches on Saturday mornings are being postponed or scuttled, according to Matt Watch. They say there's not enough clearances for a live broadcast that was supposed to happen on April 7th, but now it doesn't look like it could be financially successful. And the next week he would report, it appears everybody wants to be a wrestling promoter in Dallas. I've been told there's as many as 9 groups now, including the USWA, that are trying to book shows in the Metroplex. Gary Hart is planning shows in April. Johnny Valentine is organizing another group in a co-venture. And now Ivan Putski wants to promote as well. This is fascinating to me, Jeff, when it's plain as day Dallas is not, I mean, I guess maybe the success that Brooks had makes people think, well, maybe there's an idea. But when Jerry Jarrett, who knows a thing or two about pro wrestling, and everybody in the industry knows that, if he can't breathe new life into this, and the only way he can get fans to attend is if it's free, who in their right mind says, man, let me get some more of that? You copy the success. You don't copy, I mean, not being ugly, the failure. I'm not going to look and say, man, everybody's tried to make it in Dallas. Fritz couldn't do it. Jerry can't do it. But maybe I, Johnny Valentine, can. Maybe I, Gary Hart, can. Maybe I, Ivan Putski, can. The arrogance in saying, I want to go do that, feels a little too fan and not enough businessman. Am I wrong in saying that?
Not at all, but it's, again, and the luxury of walking down memory lane with 2020 and knowing how things went, but it does sort of go to I tip my cap to Vince McMahon when he goes, you know what? These 22 other regional promoters, they're never going to see my vision. They're just not. They don't realize it's game, set, match. That they just don't. So I'm going to do my own thing because I'm going to trailblaze a path of success. But Valentine, Hart, Mantell, all of these guys made a boatload of money in the territory days, and they by default think this guy's doing it wrong. I had success in Dallas. I'm going to show them how to do it. When in reality, the whole shooting match was over. I mean, completely over because of Hulkamania and because of Ted Turner's product and because cable television, all the above. It didn't matter what angle or story or TV clearance or venue or how warm it was or how cold it was, or none of that mattered.
Yeah.
It was, the nail was driven. I mean, the nail was absolutely driven at this point.
Well, listen, we've tried to be fair, but at times, boy, we were dunking on the Von Erichs a little bit, and it's all water under the bridge now. And I know that's who you are now, but what's your relationship like with Kevin? When was the last time you talked to Kevin? Have y'all caught up?
Years ago now, because Lacey worked for us at TNA, and I've met the boys a couple of times. But to me, it's non-existence. And look, we all screw up. I mean, shoot, I could go, we could talk several more hours on my screw ups, but it was so disheartening back then that I just could not wrap my head around. Guys, I'm seeing the checks. What are you doing? Just let it be. We know that you were making nothing. And Max Andrews, there was that monster truck pull, which we didn't go into because it's a different podcast, but the monster trucks, the monster trucks and wrestling and syndication, that was rocking and rolling and didn't have to be screwed up. But look, even if Kevin wouldn't have acted as, getting butts in seats was an issue. It was a real issue because the changing of the guard and the distribution and Hulkamania and WCW is just a new era. But yeah, man, this was a fun episode. Just to, obviously it doesn't end on a high note, but we told the story. WCW, the final nail.
Well, WCCW.
That's right. WCC.